Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's very special, completely left of center, wonderful video. I'm so glad you came by. My name's Alia. So today we're doing something super duper special. The beautiful, the wonderful, the magical almost, the colorful, wonderful Leorah, I think I said wonderful way too many times, Hillel Goldberg, I'll tag her down at the bottom, has created a wonderful tag. She's just amazing. I started watching her when she just had about 100 subscribers, and now she's grown so much, and I know exactly why. It's because she's awesome. She's a mother of 7 kids, and I've even actually taken notes about it because I just wanted to make sure that I said everything about her. She talks about diet, she talks about lifestyle, she talks about, tickles, definitely tickles. I discovered her because I started actually I started searching on YouTube, specifically small makeup channels, and I found her, and I don't even know how they came out. Like, what did I type in to find her? I definitely vibed with the fact that she lives in Israel, and yeah, the tickle tutorials definitely probably helped the YouTube algorithm push her towards me, because I also looked for that a bit in the early days when I first started rapping. So things like that. So she's created this wonderful tag called the Influence of Influencers tag with Karen Haynes and Katie Marie. So definitely check out her video on this. This is going to probably be the longest video I think I've ever made. I don't know how long it's going to be once I post it, but it's going to be the longest one, and I'll mention a little bit more about this later in the video. But basically we're going to have a bit of a interruption to our regular upload schedule on Ida's Creation because of the festival season. So things are falling out on Sundays, which is when I normally upload and tend to film for the following week. So it's going to be a little bit cray-cray if I'm also going to try and keep up with the upload. So I'm going to take a little bit of a step back from YouTube just for this little time until this month of festivities is over, and I'm going to just try and concentrate on my kids and family in this time, and yeah, so that's going to be that. Now, a little bit about this channel. If you're new here, or if you're looking to share this, or if you want to know a bit more, first of all, welcome. But here we do wraps, midweek wrap-ups. It's been my most, what's the word? I love it. That's what it is. I love it. It's an opportunity to sit down, be creative, create something different. It's not just a quick wrap to go out or something to match my outfit. I actually, have to think about what I'm doing and take it step by step and reflect on, different aspects of the tickle. And oftentimes I'll actually plan what I'm going to do, even if it's just the style. Like my last wrapping tutorial was for Yom Kippur, so I was thinking about the colors and what would be comfortable when you're fasting all day and all that sort of stuff. So I do tend to think about these ones that I film much more than the ones that I just wear. So that's today's one. So I'm going to show you how to do this as well, because it is the midweek, so we have to do a wrap up, right? The other things I'm very much into is natural makeup. At the moment, I've only got 3 palettes, which has been well more than enough to create a bajillion looks. I'm also an orthoptist, so I've been recently talking about eye condition. I intend to continue doing my eye look and eye care segment because it has been so good. It takes way more time because I have to make sure that what I'm saying actually makes sense and all that sort of stuff, and it's a lot to do your eye makeup and talk at the same time. It's multitasking to the nth degree, but I love it, and it's a little bit of a challenge and something different. So I've been really enjoying it, and I've noticed that the feedback has been amazing. So check those videos out too, and there'll be more coming in a few weekends time. We'll be back to normal uploading and normal talking about the eyes. So yeah, so natural ingredients and makeup and general non-toxic living. So I'm definitely into it, not just for the makeup and skincare and remedies for general health, naturopathy, but also about household things. So my cleaning products, my dish soap, all that sort of stuff, my shampoo, my showering stuff, all that stuff is all now coming from natural sources, mostly from Young Living, like 80% from Young Living, but there are multiple sources as well, like a health food store, for example. Definitely about support and prevention of disease, things like that, and just clean. Just being a little bit clean and green doesn't hurt. Believe me, it helps. So I've made a big change to my life, and ever since I started using these products, it's also actually given me the energy to do things like, so be an orthoptist, have this channel, but also my philanthropy work. So I have joined my 2 amazing friends with a soup kitchen, and it's not just a soup kitchen, it's a social enterprise. So we're growing at tremendous rates, especially now with COVID. So we're just busy and we're constantly moving up, and it's just growing and growing, and It's an amazing space. So there's a lot of hats I wear. And the other thing is I'm a mum of 2 boys. And I have an amazing family and amazing friends who support me, but it's just me and them. And it can be quite demanding. And I'm not shy to say it can be frustrating and horrible, but for the most part, it's an amazing, wonderful, just, I don't think my heart could get any bigger. If it did, it would throw itself out of my chest. So amazing journey. And so that's me. And I speak a little bit about in this video about how the medical world and the natural world do definitely blend well together. So I hope you do stick around. Sorry for this amazingly long intro, but I hope you do stick around for this amazingly long video to hear a little bit more about everything. And look, if I'm talking too slow or too long, speed it up. Watch me back at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed. I promise you'll still understand everything I say because I tend to rattle on a bit. So go ahead and do that. That's my trick for getting through those YouTube videos. I just speed them up. So I hope you love this video. If you do, please hit like. Please leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you stay till the end, you'll find out about Instagram and all that sort of great stuff. So I hope you do stick around, and yeah, enjoy. Okay, so I'd like to do a quick little tickle before we get started with the questions, because it is, after all, midweek, and we always do a bit of a midweek wrap up to celebrate the middle of the week. So we've got a little bit of an uneven situation happening here with my beautiful little scarf here, or my mum's scarf actually, which I have permanently borrowed. I'm just hanging it nice and sort of flat through the front. Obviously a high bun at the back. I don't have any non-slip headbands or anything at all because this is such a nice cottony kind of fabric, or like a linen-y kind of fabric, if you can tell. So beautiful. It's viscose. I've got quite a few in this fabric and from this brand. So just a little women's fashion shop here in Australia, and they have just really great accessories. Kind of sort of 30 plus, I would say, in terms of their clothing. But their accessories are just ageless, and I love them. So we're just going to tie it like that to start with. And of course we can't leave it with just one scarf, because who are we on this channel if that's what we're doing? And we're going to introduce this second scarf, and it kind of almost matches my top, but if you look at all the different sort of shades of coral I've got on, it works in the grand scheme of things. So I'm just putting it upside down quite evenly. Bit wide, so I'm just going to let it sit nice and wide. And I'm just going to let it crisp over the sort of the part where we tied everything off before. And I'm going to bring this one around, and ideally it should come back up to that same spot. Okay, so I've got that little bit there, and tucking it away. Sorry guys, excuse my nails, I haven't done them. They're all broken, so I'm just going to have to pretend that they're all nice as usual. Haven't done my dipped nails today. They really desperately needed a refresh. Okay, so I've got my little braid here. I'm just going to pull it around in a way, so just do that a little bit just to get it in the right spot, like that, and so that it doesn't cover up or bend strange over my beautiful little croissants that we have here. And I'm just going to wrap this around my hair and tuck it away at the back. Where are we? Tuck, 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 and then come back around, tuck, tuck, tuck. And whoops, and last but not least, this bit, I think I might just put that in here. Okay, now we are ready to chat. So I would have mentioned in my intro that this wonderful tag was created by the most fabulous YouTuber, in my opinion anyway, and that is Leorah. She is just, I'm not sure, I wish she was my auntie or something. So Leorah's a 40-something beautiful MUA, a makeup artist from Israel, who is just, I don't know, she's just so fabulous. She's got 7 children. I'm barely managing 2. You know, she's had this amazing, incredible journey with her body image and different medical experiences and all these sort of things, and she's just come out of it vibrant and amazing. And she says she only sleeps a couple of hours a night, which I cannot at all understand, because I can relate, and it has happened a lot to me, but I cannot understand. I need my sleep. Girl, I don't know how you do it, but kudos to you for getting away with it, because wow. Okay, so the first question is, are you easily influenced by others, or do you follow your own path? Now, I've got my little notes here. Yes, I am. I'm very, very easily influenced by others. I am extremely, how do I put this? I'm very picky. That's the word. I'm extremely, extremely picky by the people who influence me. I don't just gravitate to people all the time. I have, however, got this luck, or this streak of meeting and vibing and befriending and having lifelong people around me who are of such a caliber. I'm telling you, I have to brag a little bit here. I am so incredibly blessed in that department. I have got really some amazing, amazing human beings in my life. And for them, I have all the time and all the trust. And yes, they do influence me 1,000,000%. So some of these people are my partners at the Super Kitchen. They're amazing, and of course I'm going to support them and any ideas and try and contribute and kind of reach up to their level and be influenced by them, especially in certain personal issues as well. Like, they've really influenced the way I parent, the way I communicate with others, the kind of contributor I am in my community, all that sort of stuff. One of the wonderful doctors I work for is now also a lifelong friend. Her daughter babysits for me. Like, I just really feel like we're almost kind of family friends, not just a boss and employee kind of situation. It's another relationship where it's a complete vibe. We just understand each other, and our work ethic is very similar. And I just absolutely am in awe of her mind. She's just one of those brilliant healers. She really does care about each and every single person, which I find amazing. And like, the amount of heart and soul she puts into her work is just breathtaking, and I really respect that. And of course, she does influence me professionally, especially, and just as someone who I spend a lot of time with, definitely influenced me. And we've got a lot of similar things in the wardrobe. I'm telling you, two completely different body types, but our taste could not be more similar. So there's that lovely girl, lady. The other very important aspect of my life is my clean living, which is something I've embarked on sort of concurrently with everything that I'm doing with my spiritual cleansing, if you like. So as I'm trying to elevate myself as a person spiritually, I've also been trying to elevate myself on a physical realm, and that is trying to get rid of a lot of the toxins in our lives. So in Australia, we only ban several hundred ingredients or chemicals out of our cosmetics, whereas in Europe, let's say, it's in the thousands. So, you know, I'm very, very aware now, when I'm constantly learning about the things that we definitely should not be putting onto our skin and onto our adrenal system and onto our endocrine system and all that sort of stuff. So aside from being a philanthropist and an eye clinician, I also have this amazing kind of other hat that I wear, and that really vibes really well with my makeup history. So I used to be into makeup sales a lot and all that sort of stuff. Definitely was in the industry for a little while there, and I found that it wasn't necessarily for me as an industry, so I could never really do it as a full-time job. It just wasn't for me personally, and I found that a lot of the people that I would come across in that industry weren't for me. I just wasn't finding my people who I was vibing with as much as I did in the medical world, as much as I do in the philanthropy world and here. So one of the things that Young Living do is makeup palettes. So one of my most favorite investments that I made was this heavily used eyeshadow palettes, my foundation and all that sort of stuff, a lot of my color products, things like that, have all come from Young Living. And now it is a little bit of an expense. So what I do is I'm very, very strict with myself. And I'll talk about that in a later question. But yeah, so that is definitely a yes to that question, but I'm very particular as to who. And one of the people, so the reason I tell you about Savvy Minerals and my oily life and my detox life is there is an amazing human being, Sarah. It's actually funny that my partner at Super is also Sarah, but Sarah, different Sarah, who I've known for years and years and years now, who is the Holistic Mama on Instagram. I highly recommend you go check her out, because if there's anything to know about clean living, she's got the 411 on that one. So she actually sent me a beautiful gift today, a little bottle of oil called Harmony. But yeah, basically these little bottles have changed my life. These are Young Living oils, and we use them so much. We body washes, we use their deodorants, all kinds of things. So we're definitely become very much a part of that life. And I'll tell you, how did I ever live without it? Honestly, I know that a lot of people who are into oils will tell you to use a crystal and put oil on it and breathe in and open your chakra and all that stuff. And it could be your jam or it might not be. But the one thing that I have been able to do and always have been able to do is blend the naturopathic or oily or whatever natural healing world very nicely with my medical training and experience and all that sort of stuff. And believe me, there's room for both. There definitely needs to be a medical world, but you've got to take that with a grain of salt. And there's a lot of room for natural healing. And that also has its limitations, and people have to be knowledgeable in order to know how to use it properly. But it's the kind of healing we've had for generations and generations, and we're just sort of rediscovering it now. Question number 2. Who inspired you so much that you wanted to start your own channel? Well, that one's easy. That's Leorah. She actually has a very early video on her channel that said, The only thing I would have changed about starting YouTube channels is that I would have started it sooner. And that just spoke to me so much that all you needed was a camera and something to say. And I thought, you know what, stuff it. If I only ever have one follower, that's fine. If I come to enjoy the process and I come to enjoy the editing and all that sort of stuff, fine. And what has come out of it is I've become really good at Photoshop. I've become, because I had to design my header and Facebook page and all the stuff that you see on my channel. I've created that, logos, all that sort of stuff. I've taught myself that. I've taught myself to edit videos. So that's been a new skill. So a lot of new skills have come of it. And of course, I actually record myself doing my own makeup. So I feel like, it's such a not my generation thing to do makeup just for the sake of a selfie. I've just never been a part of that. But you sort of look back and say, oh, that was a really nice look. I got a lot of compliments. What did I do there? And I've got like 4 or 5 photos on Instagram of most of my really good looks. So I just love that. It's a little bit of a clap to me and a little bit of self-celebration, which I think that women just don't do enough of. And I'm here to say, yay, go for it. Name some amazing products that you bought because other influencers recommended them to you. Okay, this is one I prepared earlier. These pencils, this is the Pupa pencils. They're not necessarily the cleanest or anything like that. They don't claim to be, but basically Leorah spoke so much about these in her earlier videos that when I was extremely, extremely lucky and blessed to visit Israel last year, I said to the girls, we have to go to a chemist at some stage. We need to go and see where these pencils are sold. Like, oh, what's this brand? What's a funny name? I said, I don't know. All I know is that Leorah told me to buy one, and so I bought 2. This one, and I think the other one's actually in my handbag. I've got a turquoise one as well. I don't know why I only bought 2. This is me being just a bit into my budgeting. Like, I really am very strict on myself about spending. I bought the kids about, I don't know, definitely hundreds of dollars worth of souvenirs and gifts and things like that, to the point where I bought them chocolate, because we don't have chocolate in Australia, but whatever. I brought back so much stuff from Israel for them, probably just because I missed them being gone for about nearly 2 weeks. And I managed to bring myself back 2 pencils, but I'm really, really grateful I did. They really are as good as Leorah says. I just have no idea about their ingredients. That's the one thing I just wasn't able to check, but I have no reaction. Sorry, I have a sleeping baby here next to me being a bit of a snorer. So cute. Yeah, but I have no reaction to these, and I tend to react to most pencils that have things that aren't so clean in them. And this isn't, sold in Israel. It's a German made product, and as we spoke about earlier, Europe does ban way more stuff than Australia, so I'm really, really happy about that. Okay, what's the worst purchase influenced by another influencer that you've ever made? Okay, I have bought some stuff, guys, over the years, and I actually feel bad about this one. I don't really want to name names, but basically the bigger channels, like James Charles, like Nikki Tutorials, etc., they review things that are just not as clean. These are products that perhaps performed as nicely as I wanted them to. Things like this is a NYX item. Like, I've still got them. I don't know why I keep them. I just do. I do occasionally use them, and then I feel bad about it, and then anyway, it's a whole thing. But I've definitely bought stuff because of the color payoff, or because of I haven't been able to find an equivalent product in my price range, especially in the natural world, especially in Australia. I just don't feel like we have as much here. You can go to Sephora in Australia and pay $70 for a bottle of coconut oil, and I can guarantee you the organic stuff that's in the supermarket is probably better. You know what I mean? So I'm very, very I'm learning and I'm studying things as I go. So yes, I still do have a few gross things in my collection, just because I love the color, or just because there's nothing else to replace it at this stage. But what I do a lot, because an influencer said to do, is go and try it. So like when Shape Tape was a really big deal, I was able to try it through a friend, actually a friend who really encouraged me to start this channel, a work colleague, Amanda, hi, I know you'll watch this. So she influenced me, or she encouraged me, I should say, to talk about makeup. She said, oh, you do it so well, why not, blah, blah, blah. She was really, really encouraging, still is every day, always makes comments, and it was very supportive on Instagram. So thank you, girl. Thanks for all the support. She brought over some of the products that are really, really high up on the big channels. A certain primer, a certain, like I said, a certain concealer, a certain everything. And look, they do perform, and I do appreciate why people like them, but I'm so into my natural products. I love my Savvy Minerals, things like that. The other brand that I really do like to support is Nutrimetics. Now, Nutrimetics is by no means a clean brand or anything like that. They do have a lot of natural ingredients in their products, but they're mixed up with other stuff that aren't so clean, and that's fine. Everybody does their own thing, but they do really cool things like this, like these little towels for cleaning. It's like got like a kind of a wiry finish. You can sort of bend them and they'll stay and things like that. And it's a beautiful soft toweling there. You know, just wonderfully made products. So a lot of the support products, like I buy their brushes because they're very well priced and they're extremely well made. This sort of stuff. You know, they've got a few things that are fairly clean that I buy. You know, it has its place in my life, especially for things like this. I just love. Who are your favorite influencers or channels whose opinions and recommendations you trust unconditionally? So I mentioned the Holistic Mama before. Now, she's not a YouTube channel, but she is definitely an Instagram influencer or a Facebook influencer. Her page is amazing. Her posts are amazing. She's definitely edgy. She says it honestly and how it is. She's well researched. She's not afraid to spend money to get the right answers. She's her mum. Oh my gosh, I love this woman. Yeah, Sarah's mum's just Susie. If you ever do get around to watching this, hi, I miss you so much. These are two amazing just women. They're the kind of people that you just get a vibe from, a real sense of just that something that some people just have. They're just really dynamic people. And Susie's been into natural healing and natural remedies, and just, you know, she's been very cluey about all this toxicity for a very long time. She actually discovered Young Living, I'm led to understand, and then Sarah took it on as a business. And look, these women are just amazing. They've read every book there is to read. They've done their research, so you know you don't have to. And they're just easy to listen to because they're just gorgeous and they're intelligent, and it's just lovely to know that gorgeous, intelligent, powerful, amazing, vibey women exist. Is FOMO a thing in your life? So fear of missing out, FOMO, yes, it is a thing in my life. Oh my goodness, it is a thing in my life. Do I wish I could just buy the whole, say, Ilia range and just have access, you know, clear access to a big natural brand? Absolutely. Or, you know, things that are financial restrictions, one thing. Do I wish that, you know, I could get all the support with my kids, or, you know, change this lockdown and be influential in politics? You know, there's a lot of things that, yeah, I do feel like I'm missing out. I do feel like if I was in that space, I could make a difference, of course. But do I really want to be? No. So I spend a lot of time, or not a lot of time, I spend a lot of my little pockets of time that I have, which is like 2 minutes here, 30 seconds there, a fleeting thought there, or as I'm watching my coffee machine make my next boost of my little addiction there, my caffeine hit. I sort of have these little mini meditations, and as I sort of think about how things are or how things could be, or, you know, I sort of start to process a thought that I've been having for a while, a little idea I might have, you know, thinking about how I could develop it and how I could realize it, things like that. And I sort of do things, I call them like post-it notes in my brain. And one of the things I'm constantly reflecting on in those moments is just how incredibly blessed I am. I actually had a conversation earlier today with my granddad, who is one of my biggest influences ever anyway. Now, Granddad is one of those people who would quite literally take his arm, chop it off and go here if he felt that you needed it more than he did. He's just one of those people. And I mean, you know, especially for his children, and, you know, he calls me daughter. He doesn't refer to me as his granddaughter. They helped raise me along with my mum. So, you know, we're very, very close. And one of the things I'm grateful for, and he was just saying, you know, when you were little, and this is a story he tells all the time, like every other conversation we have, he tells me this. When you were little, you said, Granddad, no, I have to know how to do this myself because I need to know how to do anything myself. And yes, I was probably of that way, you know, convinced to be like that and independent and all that sort of thing when I was about 6. And I'm still that way today. I'm not afraid to ask for help, nothing like that. But I'm a really, really big believer of you have to at least understand where to ask for help, because you can, even to ask for help, you need to understand somewhat of what you need help in, right? So even though, yes, I do sometimes kind of go out on a tangent and feel like there could be more, and I could be there, and I could be this, and this could be more, and that could be better, and this could be easier, and, you know, the floor could vacuum itself, and the kids could finally learn to not lose the puzzle pieces, and little things just, you know, where I just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm losing control. And then I realized that that's fine. Thank God we have puzzles. We have a bajillion toys. We have too many toys. I have too much makeup, even though I wish I had more. I have too much makeup. Honestly, these 3 palettes, if you watch my channel, the amount of different looks I've created with just these 3 palettes, it's an insane amount of variation for like just 2 palettes like this. And the last one's a quad, as you saw earlier. It's just a 4. So, you know, just that. And I've just created so much, and they're natural, and they're clean, and they're extremely bougie, and they're, you know, American and fancy and all that sort of stuff. But that's all I really need. And like I said, I've been able to be more creative because I'm limited with my resources. And all I've really needed is a bajillion brushes to create several different techniques and different looks. I definitely am spoiled for choice with brushes. I probably have as much as a professional makeup artist, probably about 50 odd, probably just under 50 brushes. Yeah, so a little bit crazy there. But as I was saying to you guys earlier, I'm unbelievably blessed with the people in my life and the things I have been able to achieve, and the limitations in which I was able to achieve them is already a huge thing to pat myself on the back about. You know, I was never very good at studying. I was never very good at just sitting still and getting the study into my brain. I hated that sort of stuff. I'm much more of a doer, much more hands-on. Even though I did, you know, science and maths and things like that for my schooling, you know, I never found it to be enjoyable, like some people do. Like my sister is really into that stuff and really good at it, and you know, is amazing at being academic. Just not my vibe. I'm much more into creating and sort of getting into almost, like I said to you before, meditation, into like a space with what I'm doing. And it doesn't have to be for a long time, but it has to be enjoyable. And I'm able to find that with my friends, with my projects, with my philanthropy, with my work. I love my work. I love how much impact a small session with someone can make, you know, to reassure them, to educate them, to make sure that they know what to do with their health. The people I get to work with, but in both spaces, the kind of connections I've made through the oily world, through natural living, through clean living, the kind of impact I can then have by knowing what I know, learning what I learn on other people. You know, it's just a wealth of knowledge being connected to these amazing people. And I think that's probably where I fit best into the worlds I do fit into and achieve what I can achieve. And that's just purely because of the people that are there to achieve it alongside. How much money have you spent in the last 3 months on products you discovered through other influencers? Now, if I actually include oils that aren't a reorder, or products through the oily orders that I make or the makeup orders that I regularly make, I would say probably around maybe $100 Australian in the last 3 months. For the most part, I order the same stuff over and over, and I usually discover it through an app. So I punch in the symptoms or the condition that I want to try and battle, whether that be a spiritual condition, an energy condition, you know, like a heavy heart, let's say, or just being overwhelmed, or whether that's something physical like some pain or some tummy upset or whatever. And then usually the app will spit out the kind of ingredients I'm searching for, and then I'll be able to go and order an oil or a product or a naturopathy thing, or you know, some sort of product to help me with that. That's with the oily orders. In terms of YouTube, I think I haven't mentioned Reagan Hart on Instagram. She's an amazing YouTuber as well. I don't really watch her that much on YouTube. I don't really watch that much YouTube at all. I think the only thing we watch a lot of on YouTube is like things that my kids enjoy. So my screen time, my personal screen time for things I enjoy are things that are a little bit more targeted. Like I really wanted to see what Leorah's tag was because I love that she's coming up with tags. Or I'll watch something perhaps like the news. Like I don't really get to watch it on TV, nor do I enjoy watching it on TV. So I pick the channels that I do trust and the reporters I do trust, and I maybe spend, you know, 15 or so minutes just catching up on the day's whatever information. I can't even call it news, information from the day. So that's more what I watch. So I don't really have the opportunity to be influenced in that respect. But like I said, you know, when somebody mentions 20 times that they love Pooper pencils, I'm going to pick one up if I see they shut down nail salons in the lockdown in Melbourne. My sister found an Australian producer of dipped nails. So DIPD is her brand, dipped, but dipping powder nail products, you know, and I've been able to maintain my own nails. Not today. Ugh, how horrible is that? But you know, in general, I've been able to keep up until my beautiful, beautiful girls come back to work very, very soon, I hope, because I just miss spending time in the nail place and talking to my sister and talking to these wonderful women at the nail place. I just love that. It's just a time out for a couple of hours in my otherwise very, very busy month. But anyway, so on a tangent, but you know, I'm more influenced by things like that I've actually had to research, whether it be through social media or through YouTube, but it's usually a targeted thing. Have you ever bought something you didn't initially want to buy because another influencer convinced you had to have it? And if so, what is it? I have tried a few green products from Sephora, just because there have been influencers that have mentioned that Sephora has clean products, and so I've picked a few up. Nothing has been amazing. So if you're in Australia and you shop at Sephora and you found something clean, please let me know. Nothing I've picked up I've loved. Like I said, the one product I almost bought but then didn't buy in the end after all, even though there has been a bit of vibe on, again, Instagram more about this product. It was basically just coconut oil, and I mix my own pretty much anything. So this is my moisturizing product. I've been mixing it the same way for probably about a year now. It's a beautiful, beautiful product. I can amend it based on what my skin's doing at the time, whether I have allergies, whether it's dry, whether it's not as dry, whether it's winter, summer, windy, the heater's on, the aircon's on, all that stuff. This gets a little bit adjusted as I remake more, and I use it at least 3 times a day. I usually use it in the morning for my makeup, and then I use it as soon as I take my makeup off, and then I'll do one more time right as I go to bed in my trouble spots. I get really dry in certain spots no matter the weather, and so I usually put a little bit more on at that point. And if I'm not putting this one on, I have the Seedlings baby cream that I use right before bed, and only right before bed because it doesn't absorb as quickly. It's quite thick. So I literally picked it up. I even walked over to the counter with it, and then I went, oh my gosh, let's just read this one more time. And when I looked at not the description of what it does, but actually the ingredients, it literally said coconut oil. Organic, la 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 la, but coconut oil. And I have a huge jar of organic coconut oil, which is really, really nicely made and sustainably sourced and all that sort of stuff that I use for baking and stuff like that. I use it in my hair, all that sort of stuff. And I just thought, oh my goodness. And I've since then been using a lot of coconut oil in my products that I make. So I have a hygiene product that I make with some antifungal stuff with coconut oil as a carrier, you know, for things like, you know, the kids' feet and whatever. So like all these sort of hygiene questions, especially for the kids. I use it, I mix all the kids' oils with coconut oil before I apply it onto them because it's a beautiful carrier, and they have absolutely no negative reaction to it. Like I said, I use it for baking. I use it for, you know, if my lips are chapped, all that sort of stuff. It's a good thing to have. And don't pay $80 or whatever it was, $70 at Sephora for it. Go to Aldi, or if you want to go to a health food store, they have good stuff there. What is the most important thing you have learned by watching other influencers? So there's 2 sides of this. One is I do definitely do my research with people I respect on Instagram or YouTube. And so I've learned things about products from them, and I've been able for them to review it and try it first so that I don't have to spend my very, very strict budget, limited budget on these products and try them myself, and especially that it's often really, really hard to get. So to get those 2 Aether Beauty palettes, I had to wait a while. I had to pay a surplus, etc., etc. Although you do get 15% off with code IDIAS still at Aether, but like at the moment I'm having a really, really hard time getting anything from anywhere in Australia, and in Melbourne I should say, specifically Melbourne. Even getting some oil from Sydney to Melbourne was a whole rigmarole. So at the moment things are just really, really tough. So this last year is just not a reflection of the usual situation at all for anyone anywhere. I'm really fortunate. I'm still working. Everything's still good in my life, thank goodness. But access has been really, really bad, and the Australian dollar has been really, really bad. So everything has gone up in price because, you know, just the conversion rate. So anyway, bit of a whinge there, meh. The other thing I really love learning from other influencers or other YouTubers specifically is about the platform. And same thing with Instagram, it's about the platform. So I do learn definitely techniques. I really love Nikki Tutorials. First of all, for her attitude, she's got a good vibe going. I love that she's very real and she shares a lot with her audience, especially that her audience is massive, and there's always much more opportunity for negativity when you've got such a massive following. So I really love her bravery. But she's also got really amazing technique for hooded eyes. Even though I don't do the heavy makeup thing, I do much more natural, kind of clean skin kind of thing. But I still love certain techniques that I've definitely just learned from her, even though I've done makeup courses, I've done artistry courses, I've done online, in person. I've been basically in this makeup world since I was 17. So, and that's not including all my experience with makeup when I was performing, dancing as a child and things like that. So this is just hands-on involvement with makeup, playing with makeup since I was probably about 9. You know, whether it was done on me or I was doing my own or doing somebody else's, I've always been sort of in that realm. And I'm still learning heaps from her. I'm learning heaps from artists like Wayne Goss, who just have amazing, amazing things to add with technique, and he's got so many different subjects that he speaks on when it comes to technique. So I really enjoy looking things up on his channel. I just literally just search the channel for a specific thing I'm trying to improve. Somebody else that I really love learning from is Rumi Official. So that's a comedy music channel. You know, he's doing a lot of daily stuff, or he's doing, you know, high volume videos, so not all of it is about music. Some of it's just you know, him and his mates drinking beer. I mean, it's just a laugh. And some of his stuff, especially the more musical stuff, I watch with my 6-year-old who's really into piano. And, you know, I'm not at all, at any stretch of the imagination, a musician. That is one thing I am not. Love music, you know, very rhythmic, but not musical. So when it comes to that sort of stuff, I need to outsource. There's classes in so many different things. So YouTube, and at the moment lockdown, half of those things are cancelled anyway. So with YouTube, he's just able to learn a little bit about that world, if you like, through a very funny, very entertaining, very lighthearted kind of thing. I always feel like it's like a cousin who's musical, who comes around and entertains us and talks about music a little bit and reflects on things like pitch and whatever else, other musical stuff, which I have no idea about. So, you know, it's a platform that's really, really great for learning. You know, you can definitely do a lot of DIY education on the platform. So, you know, that as well. And about the platform itself. So some of these channels talk a little bit about their experiences with algorithms, with, you know, thumbnails, I don't know, different things that are relevant to being a YouTuber. Even though my main direction is not to grow this channel, that's not my main aim here. My main aim here is just to enjoy myself and engage with the people who are interested in what I do here. It's still interesting to learn, and I think it's still important and relevant to just be aware of where I am, the platform, and what's going on. Do you watch the kind of content you create, or do you go for something different, and why? And I think I kind of just covered that. Yes, I definitely love watching makeup stuff, because I just love it. It's just, I just love makeup. I love what it can do. I love how creative of a process it is, and I kind of find it almost relaxing to watch somebody do their makeup, and I just love how this messy splash of rainbow explosion can turn into something gorgeous in a matter of a few lines or a few brush strokes. So I really love that. I love being, you know, encouraged or finding influence in the different looks, you know, learning new styles, not just techniques. But I more than anything enjoy having YouTube as an outlet for my kids. So I don't like YouTube being a babysitter. I'm not for that. I very much am aware of my kids' screen time, and I like to limit it. But the few things, like I mentioned with Rumi, or there's other much more kid-friendly channels. I'm very picky with what I show him, my 6-year-old. Even other things, we have drawing channels, we have how-to channels, we have things that we are able to learn and then maybe do, you know, science channels. As a family, he does a lot of his like yoga and breathing through children's YouTube. So there's more that we spend time on, rather than, you know, sitting there and I'm making them watch a 40-minute thing about makeup or about a tag. If you could influence a large number of other influencers to try one thing that's really important to you or works well for you, what would it be? Well, guys, no. I don't want to influence a large amount of influencers. I agree wholeheartedly with what Leorah had to say about this question. I love the individuality, and I also love the channels. I tend to watch the channels more that support that individuality and support with love and positivity other people and other people's vibes. You know, Leorah is really into indie, and I love that. I don't know anything about indie, so I catch up on that kind of thing through her. And it's just gorgeous, and I've gone and watched other channels because she's recommended them, and things like that. So I love that there's a lot of individualism on YouTube still, even though there's been a kind of a push to do the same thing over and over. I'm really, really grateful that that hasn't actually been the case. And we're still very much all doing our own thing, whether you have 20 odd subscribers or 2 million odd subscribers. You can still be you, and you can do you and it works. And it works whether you're happy with a small scale or this is your job and you actually want to be monetized and earn money and AdSense and all that other jazz that happens on YouTube. And look, if that happens in this channel, I will be so grateful. I really will. You know, if you're doing something anyway to be also paid and rewarded for it, absolutely, that's fantastic. That sounds great. Is this why I do it? Absolutely not. Okay, my lovelies, this is probably the longest video I've ever made. I don't know how I'm going to get through all the editing, but I definitely wanted to support Leorah with her tag. I love her. I think she's just everything, and she's amazing. And please check her out if you haven't already. She makes the most wonderful tickles or turbans. I hope that my turbans go anywhere near hers. It's just amazing. As always, please subscribe. Usually my videos are around 10 to 20 minutes, usually no longer. This is very, very special. And it's all because this weekend is actually the festival of Sukkot. And that starts on Friday night and doesn't finish all the way till Sunday night. So I will not be uploading this weekend. I'm so sorry, lovelies. I promise I have so much planned, and even to the point where I've taken notes for my next eye video, but that won't be for a little while. I will see you midweek next week though with another video, and I hope that that will keep you going for a little while until we're back to a normal recording schedule in a few weeks time. Until then, I hope you jump onto Instagram. I'll definitely be still active there as much as I can be. And, you know, I want to update you more and more on everything that's going on with Super and the social enterprise and everything like that, because it's so much exciting stuff happening there. Also different makeup looks, different tickle looks. I definitely want to still stay connected. So go ahead and check out Instagram, subscribe so that you know what's going on here, because we're a little bit verklempt at the moment and things are out of order and out of schedule. So please go ahead and subscribe so that YouTube can send you a notification that, hey, I'm back. That'd be really, really awesome. And if you like this video, please do hit like. If you want to see me do more tags, or you want to recommend I do something differently, please let me know down in the comments. I'm so open to be influenced by you guys. I think that's one thing I haven't mentioned at all in all of this chit chat, is that you guys are definitely where my influence is. The whole reason, the whole thing about starting a YouTube channel at all initially wasn't going to be a public channel at all, was because my friends were saying, how did you do that tickle? How did you make that makeup look? Tell me a little bit more about that eye condition. You know, how did you fix your skin? You had such a bad breakout. All these things, all these conversations that I was having anyway started this channel. So thank you guys for being my biggest inspiration, influences, support, all those things, subscribers. I know who some of you are, and absolutely thank you so much for all the support. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.